Hello and welcome back to our channel. On this video we're going to discuss chargebacks and explain the basics behind it. Most of the people believe that if you pay online using PayPal, you are safe and you'll be able to get a refund if you're scammed. Well, that's technically true, but there is a catch. The problem is you'll need to prove to PayPal that you've been scammed, and it's not as easy as you may think. Scammers in general have gotten good at combating these PayPal disputes. The most common scam used online by stores is to sell an item and then ship a cheap unrelated item to the buyer and provide the buyer with tracking information. The buyer will then believe their item is on the way. When the buyer finally receives the item, they will either think an honest mistake has been made, or they will contact PayPal and state that they did not receive the item they bought online. PayPal will then reach out to the seller regarding the dispute and ask the seller to provide proof that the item was shipped to the buyer. The seller will then simply provide PayPal with the tracking information of the unrelated cheap item that was sent to the buyer. PayPal will most commonly side with the seller and deny the refund because you see there is proof that the seller shipped an item to the buyer. So let's look into what chargeback is. If you've experienced cases when you needed to resolve an issue or dispute a transaction with a merchant, maybe you've tried to return a product, or rather you did not receive the goods or services that you paid for, or perhaps there are charges on your card that you did not make. All of these cases may warrant a card chargeback. A card chargeback is a remedy to get a refund for an amount in dispute that card holders can resort to after directly talking with a merchant becomes fruitless. This is a formal process, but most card companies made the system consumer-friendly that there is hardly a need to get to the help of a legal professional to do it. So let's look into what does chargeback cover. You can use chargeback for any of the following situations. The merchant online store where you purchased your product closed down, or there is an issue with your product like you got an inferior item, or the goods you received were not according to what the seller described, or it is downright defective, or you didn't get what you paid for, the merchant was not able to deliver the goods you purchased or the services you paid for as they promised. Company has charged you or billed you several times for the same transaction, or billed you for a higher incorrect amount, or there are purchases that you did not make nor authorized. So next, let's look into the time frame to file a chargeback claim. On average, you can file for a chargeback claim between 60 and 120 days from the time you made the purchase with your card. After filing, the merchants have about 45 days to respond if they wish to dispute the claim. These are the general rules that the credit card processing company has set, but they will differ according to the card you've used in the transaction. So next, let's look into how the chargeback process goes. First, the cardholder files a chargeback. The chargeback process begins when a dissatisfied customer files a chargeback request with the card company. After that, the card company will then review the chargeback request. Every chargeback request should have a reason code. The reason code specifies the very reason why the cardholder is disputing a transaction, such as goods or services not as described. Every code has its own conditions, such as filing time limits, supporting documents, etc. The card issuer will go over the chargeback claim to make sure that it meets all the regulations and requirements. If the issuer sees that the cardholder's claim is valid, they will then send a notice of the charge back to the merchant's bank. If a merchant submits a response, the merchant bank will do an investigation and come out with a decision. In some cases, arbitration is necessary, and the entire process will take much longer. So if you are ever caught in this type of scam, here is what you can do to better your chances of receiving a refund. First of all, take a photo of the item you received, the package it came in, and a close-up of the shipping label. By doing this, you may be able to prove that the item shipped to you was not even close to the size, weight, or description of the item listed on the tracking label, or of the item that was supposed to be shipped to you. This works best when large items are purchased and small items are shipped, because it shows quite easily that a large item could not possibly have fit in the package that was sent to you. Make sure to take a picture or screenshot of the full product page, as the seller may delete it in the future or change the details listed on it. Another way to prove that the item you ordered was not sent to you is to keep a record of all email correspondence you had with the seller. However, if the merchant has adequate and compelling evidence to show that the chargeback is not valid, the merchant can present the charge back to the issuer for their review. And there is a chargeback fee that a merchant is charged every time they receive a chargeback. This fee is charged by the merchant's financial institution and is intended to incentivize merchants to try to avoid chargebacks as much as possible. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you like the content.